The first time Adaobi saw Chike, she knew she had found the love of her life. He was charming, ambitious, and had a smile that made her heart race. She was his peace, and he was her strength. Everyone said they were the perfect couple, but love is never that simple. Now, 6 years into their marriage, Adaobi sat in their quiet living room, staring at the walls. Love was there, but it wasn't enough. The distance between them had grown so wide that she wasn't sure if it could ever be bridged. Was this how love stories ended? Adaobi and Chike met in Lagos at a corporate event. She was an up-and-coming fashion designer, and he was a young banker making a name for himself. They had an instant connection, and within 2 years, they were married. Their love was beautiful. At first, they supported each other's dreams, traveled together, and built a life that many envied. But as the years went by, work stress, unspoken expectations, and unresolved conflicts began to build cracks in their marriage. Conversations became shorter, arguments became frequent, silence became their new language. Adaobi tried to ignore the growing tension, but when Chike stopped coming home early and barely looked at her when he did, she knew something was wrong. Was their love strong enough to survive? Adaobi poured herself into work, hoping to fill the void with success. She told herself that if she became a bigger name in the fashion industry, she would feel whole again. Chike, on the other hand, spent longer hours at the bank, often coming home late. He claimed it was for their future, but Adaobi couldn't shake the feeling that he was avoiding her. They lived in the same house, but it felt like they were worlds apart. Adaobi started noticing things. Chike barely touched her anymore. The laughter that once filled their home was gone. He no longer noticed when she wore a new dress or changed her hairstyle. One evening, she tried to talk to him. "Chike, are we okay?" she asked, her voice soft but desperate. He looked up from his phone, sighed and nodded. "We are fine, Adaobi. I'm just tired." But they were not fine. Weeks turned into months. The distance grew wider. Adaobi sought advice from her best friend, Kemi, who had been married for 10 years. "Marriage isn't always about love, Ada," Kemi said. "Sometimes you have to choose to stay, even when love doesn't feel enough." "But should marriage feel this lonely?" Adaobi whispered. One day, Adaobi stumbled upon Chike's phone. A message popped up on the screen from a woman named Linda. "I miss you. When are we seeing again?" Adaobi's hands shook as she stared at the screen. Had Chike found comfort in someone else? Adaobi refused to believe it at first. Chike was a good man. He loved her. He wouldn't do this to her. She decided not to confront him immediately. Instead, she observed. She noticed how he smiled at his phone, how he was always texting someone late at night. Denial was easier than facing the truth. One evening, she finally gathered the courage to ask, "Who is Linda?" Chike stiffened, then scoffed. "She is a colleague." "A colleague who sends "I miss you" messages?" Adaobi's voice cracked. Chike stood up, frustrated. "Adaobi, why are you going through my phone? Why are you hiding things from me?" she shot back. The argument exploded into a storm of accusations and painful words. Chike refused to admit anything. He blamed her for being distant, for focusing too much on work, for not being the woman she used to be. Adaobi felt shattered. Was this her fault? One night, after another fight, Chike didn't come home. Adaobi stayed up, staring at the empty space beside her in bed. The silence was unbearable. Maybe their marriage was over. Alone in their house, Adaobi reflected. Had she neglected her marriage? Had she let the spark die? But wasn't marriage a two-way street? Hadn't Chike also started trying? She realized something. Love was not enough. Respect, effort, and commitment mattered just as much. Chike came home the next morning, looking exhausted. "We need to talk," Adaobi said. For the first time in months, they had an honest conversation. Chike admitted that he had been feeling lost, pressured, and misunderstood. Linda had been a distraction, but nothing had happened between them. "I don't want to lose you, Adaobi," he whispered. "I don't want to lose us either," she admitted. They agreed to have weekly check-ins where they would talk about everything, how they felt, what was working, what wasn't. At first, it was awkward. There were long pauses, and sometimes emotions ran high, but they pushed through, learning to listen without judgment. One night, as they sat on their balcony, sipping tea, Chike finally opened up. "I felt invisible, Ada, like you didn't need me anymore." Adaobi's eyes welled up. "And I felt abandoned, like you had given up on us." For the first time in a long time, they saw each other clearly. They decided to make time for each other, no matter how busy life got. Every Friday, they went out, sometimes to fancy restaurants, other times just for street food, and they walked by the beach. At home, during meals or conversations, no phones were allowed. This small change helped them reconnect. They looked at old pictures, reminisced about their early days, and reminded themselves why they fell in love. They started paying attention to each other's needs. Chike made an effort to compliment Adaobi's work, telling her how proud he was of her fashion brand. Adaobi cooked Chike's favorite meals on stressful days, something she hadn't done in a long time. They left little notes for each other on the mirror, in lunch boxes, or by the bedside. It was the little things that made a difference. They attended a few marriage counseling sessions. At first, Chike was hesitant. He saw it as admitting failure, but the counselor helped them see their patterns, guiding them toward healthier ways to handle conflict. They learned that love wasn't just about passion. It was about choosing to stay and work through the tough times. Chike knew he had to regain Adaobi's trust, so he became transparent. He shared his phone password without her asking. He cut ties with Linda, making it clear that his marriage came first. He started coming home early, showing Adaobi that she was his priority. Adaobi, in turn, learned to let go of resentment. She forgave, not because she was weak, but because she wanted to heal. Their intimacy had suffered, so they worked on it. They took weekend getaways, away from work and responsibilities. They held hands again, hugged more, and kissed goodnight, things they had stopped doing. They talked about their dreams, plans, and fears, building emotional intimacy beyond the physical. Adaobi and Chike's marriage didn't become perfect. They still had disagreements, but now they faced them as a team. They learned that love is not enough. A strong marriage needs effort, communication, forgiveness, and a willingness to fight for each other. And in the end, they chose to keep choosing each other every single day.